Hey everyone, TellTale here. Season 2 has finally come to a close, and I can finally confirm to myself this is the biggest season of TellTale reviews yet. I don't even think Season 3 is going to top this one. Talking on this topic right now, I'm going to quickly explain what Season 2 went through, my favourite episode in Season 2, my least favourite episode in Season 2, and I'm also going to quickly talk, which I didn't do this in Season 1, because I was still working everything out for Season 2 at the time. And I'm also going to be talking about plans for Season 3, because that's pretty big for that. We're going to start off with Season 2's development. It started off a low quality 720p, which I never did my videos in 720p unless they were recorded and uploaded straight from my phone. That was because the first episode was rushed on a computer that I didn't know the power of yet. It's not this computer I knew the power of already, but that computer I didn't. That's now out of use. I'm not using that computer again for editing unless I'm on travel, which I don't edit a lot on travel because there's a lot of bumps and my family's there and I'm not confident with recording while they're around. So, you know. Season 2 also introduced new channel features. I branched out and started reviewing music, and as of next season I'm also going to be branching out into film reviews and TV show reviews and YouTuber reviews, hopefully. That all depends on your support. Also in Season 2 we tried a milestone, a pretty big one, in which 60 subscribers, 50 subscribers, those two milestones will be, and we got 10k views total on the channel. That's big. Favorite video of Season 2 was Season 2, Episode 2, The Rise and Fall of Crazy Frog. Not just because it got me on a podcast, because as a matter of fact, it actually managed to be the first video that I talked in depth about a subject that I personally liked without getting sidetracked. I focused on it, and I made a great video that not a lot of people have seen. Least favourite video of the season? That's pretty hard, because I do like every episode in this season, but it probably have to be Do the Bartman. Very rushed and very, very unfocused. As of Season 3, things are going to change. I've got a new phone, which has a better camera. I didn't use it in this video, because I was under time in the last video, because I was in time constraints. But I think now, as of Season 3, I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be making, over the course of the next 6 months, intros for every single system that I review games on. So, PS1, PS2, Xbox Original, Nintendo 64, Nintendo GameCube, 360, PS3, Xbox One, PS4, Wii U, and Switch. And I'm all... if I don't get all of them done within the next month, I'm going to be making a intro. And I'll be using, because I've already got a GameCube and Xbox. Actually, I've come up with a better idea. I'm going to make an animated intro in 6 months, right? So I will be back on the 5th of June, and I'll be reviewing games weekly from then. I'm going to be making an animated intro for it, and for, which will be custom animated. I'm going to be making cheaper intros for, a new show I'm working on, Characters Overanalyzed, which I've got an intro for, which I personally made. I'm going to make a brand new intro for the TellTale unboxings, which is on episode 4, next time I get something that I can unbox. I was going to unbox my new book, but I thought I'd make that private because that's a important book to me. And I'm also going to be working on a drawing channel, and my second channel's been started up, so I'm going to have a new intro for the second channel, which is my independent second channel. It's not the Space Team's collab channel. I'm not collabing on that channel with them. That's my channel for behind the scenes. This channel's collabing with them because I'm a co-owner of the thing, of the program. Now, without further stalling, I want to get into this. My favourite season by far, and it's probably going to be my favourite season till forever and ever. This is TellTale Reviews Season 2 in full. Enjoy. Also, any sponsors and credits are all gone. Just let you know. Also, one last thing to note. In the trailer, I showed off that Oceana Studios was producing it. They produced... that was my own little YouTube brand that I used to produce content throughout season 1 until, I don't know, when I collaborated with the space team. Now obviously it's still in operation, and I'm actually getting the owner of the space team to actually merge it in as a film company. So we're going to turn Oceana Studios into a film company and an animation company, and we're going to rebrand it. And I'm planning on rebranding it as Cosmic Cartoons, which I have as a art Instagram, turning it into just an animation company. And it'll be used for moments animation. It's going to be used for comic animation. So when you see this, that I'm about to show you, the trailer, it says Oceana Studios, but it was only till episode 2 or 3. So yeah. And also in that trailer, I had footage filmed and episodes edited beforehand, because I was starting in April and I was going to do weekly up until June, where I was going to slow down a bit so I can focus on school. That didn't happen. Like, Cuphead didn't happen, Oddworld didn't happen, Five Nights at Freddy's didn't happen. All of them didn't happen except from Wrath of Cortex and Crazy Frog Racer. The rest of them are hopefully going to be rescheduled into new seasons. I know that I'm reviewing Cuphead next season, Oddworld next season, and Five Nights at Freddy's series next season. So if you see anything that wasn't reviewed this season, it was because it was made in advance before I planned out the season, and that's why. So, yeah. Right, now you saw the trailer, we can get into the actual season. Before we start though, last time, I'm actually going to be doing a live stream commentary within the next 2 or 3 days, maybe tomorrow actually, tomorrow morning, in UK time around 12 o'clock midday in UK times, where I'm going to be commentarying over every video in the season, including the Characters Overanalyzed video, talking about my experiences, the new way that the set changed, because everything changed throughout that season. So yeah, enjoy. Hey everyone, it's TellTale here. Today, I'm going to be doing the first episode of TellTale Review Season 2. I struggled a lot trying to think of what to actually do. I was originally going to do every single Spyro game until I got to them all, but I cancelled that. So I decided, why not follow up on the last video I did of an actual review. Today, we'll be taking a look at Sonic Forces for Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PS4 and PC. Is it as good as Mania? Or does it just deserve to kind of be marked in the same position as a game such as this? We're about to find out. Roll the intro.
Sonic Forces. Let's get the plot out the rail real quick. Eggman has managed to take over the world after Sonic dies, and now it's up to you out playing as Sonic, Classic Sonic, and your custom avatar to just go and save the world. It's a very simple plot, it's a very sad plot, I don't really care, I don't like it. I just wanted to run past that because now I'm going to get into a long part where I'm going to gush a bit. The graphics. As you can see on screen, I'm playing as Super Sonic after completing the game and getting the DLC. The game is actually really, really good. You'll automatically just feel like you're in levels. You don't have to try and immerse yourself. And the level here, Green Hill Zone, has a transition from Green Hill Zone to Sand Hill Zone, which I thought was actually pretty well implemented. Also, control-wise, it's very well to control, but it's not perfect. With modern Sonic specifically, you have like a very tight yet very loose control scheme at the same time, and boosting just feels supernatural with Sonic. But with Classic Sonic, it's completely different. With Mania, he was very well controlled. He was very well balanced. But he's not amazing, but he's decent. He controls well enough for the purposes you're trying to use him for, and his missions can be quite entertaining. Bosses are quite iffy, and I'm not really digging them. They can be a bit repetitive and annoying at times, and can just be repeats of past enemies like Zavik, Metal Sonic, but the new boss Infinite is probably one of the worst Sonic bosses since the Egg Dragoon from Generations. I really didn't like that. And the music as well is actually quite well orchestrated. It was, especially when you beat the game and go back to the main menu, it's completely different, and it just doesn't feel like the game's trying to show you. It's completely different to what the game is being shown as. So, yeah, I kind of just really do like the soundtrack compared to every other Sonic game. It's probably the second best soundtrack. But otherwise, everything else is just meh. Really though, I did buy it when it was like 20 quid, so it kind of did get a £10 discount. I kind of got saved there, but that's pretty much everything I could say. It's quite short, but I've just laid out everything I can because, yeah, that's all I have to say. After all that, what are my final thoughts of Sonic Forces? I found the game to be enjoyable for what it was. It wasn't much, but it only took about 5 hours to finish. It's not a long game. And that was on hard mode. I want a challenge, and I went for a challenge and it was easy. Would I recommend you pick up the game? Yeah. I mean, if you enjoyed Sonic Mania, then it's a good way to continue the story. But otherwise, no. If you don't like Sonic, or you're not a Sonic guy and you want to get in to it, don't pick this one up. If you want a game to pick up that is very similar, but is much better, Generations is the way to go. Now it's backwards compatible on the Xbox One, so it's the best time to play the game. I give Sonic Forces a 7 out of 10. It's okay, it's good. Thank you so much for watching. It's been super fun doing TellTale reviews, and I'm really excited for what 2018 brings us. I will be posting a video on this date right here, since that'll be my 1 year anniversary and I want to do something special. But between then I'll be posting shorter videos and smaller videos, and maybe some reviews along the way. But I'm going to try and do what I did before with the 3 Crash games, and post day, then a couple of days later post another, maybe do a double like I did with Crash 2 and 3. I'm also going to try and get to more games other than Sonic, Crash and that. I have a plan to get to the Uncharted series, which I actually managed to pick up with their manuals recently. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please like it. If you didn't enjoy, dislike. If you want to see dislike. If you genuinely want to support me, you can subscribe. We're near 40 subscribers now, so it will be super helpful. Share this on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, anywhere you can. Get some people to come and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you maybe 2 days when I want to cover. Where are you? Well, I'm gonna cover this piece of trash. Thanks for watching, and again, see you very soon. The year is 2005. Eric Warrenquist, animator, decides to get a job at Cactus Films. Before he goes there, he needs to make an animation video. He decides to make one more animation to hopefully impress the CEO or head of Cactus Films in Sweden. He goes there with his new pitch, with the tagline of the annoying thing, and this is how it went. It lived up to the name.
Ding 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 dum dum bum bum bam bum 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 rim run run ram ba 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 ba.
So to get this straight, a blue thing riding around on a blue background on his invisible moped took the world by storm, and one absolute giant music company would find its way to grasp it and work with the little company Cactus Films on their biggest project yet.
Ding ding.
This song managed to beat Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz. So before I review it, this beat Gorillaz. This beat this.
Windmill for the land, love forever hand in hand. Take it all out on your stride, it is taking falling down.
Anyway, the song's fine for what it is, and the video, while very well animated, is just bland. It's a chase scene. It could have been put into any other animated movie. If they made this into a movie and had the song be included, would have been fine. But because it's a short 3-minute animated film, it's not too great. But Crazy Frog took the world by storm. He wasn't stopping anytime soon, and Cactus Films had other plans in making him a one-hit wonder. Popcorn, the second single released by the Crazy Frog, was released in 2005, the same year as Axel F. Eric Warrenquist had the director's role on this video again, and this one I kinda had mixed feelings on. Now, the story behind it was they had success from Axel F, especially in UK and France, and another popular song in the area was Popcorn, and he was still fairly fresh at the time, so they decided to mix it. While the video was good, The music can get fairly annoying, and the video can get kind of bland. Overall, I found that my experience with Popcorn was lesser than the Crazy Frog. This didn't get any better than Feel Good Inc. This didn't beat Feel Good Inc., which was a good thing. But in France, it was one of the most popular Crazy Frog songs. Next one.
Think of it then, Dom, we're the champions!
We Are the Champions, the third single released by the Crazy Frog in 2006 to kind of just release a song for the World Cup that was that year in, I think, I can't remember exactly, I'm too tired to look up. It'll be on the screen now. But the song itself is my favourite song by the Crazy Frog, and it's what got me into the band Queen. I kind of do enjoy the song, and the video itself is very well done. The animation is very nice, and the song isn't too repetitive with the noises. It's one of the least annoying songs that he probably released, and he's released quite a few annoying songs. Later on, at least there'll be a lot, but the video is quite aesthetically pleasing. It was a real victory, and I'm glad that they made it. It's probably the one that many people will remember, as well as Axel F. Easily the best song he ever released. Now, during this time, the Frog was going through rough phases. So how's about we do a quick overview of what we got so far. Axel F got a solid 7 out of 10. It was a good video with a good track. It was a great way to start it off with the phenomenon, and got 3rd out of the entire 2005 charts. This was to be followed by Popcorn, one of the weakest in my opinion, with a poor track and a poor execution of the video. And Digga Dat Dong With The Champions, which was my personal favourite and many people's personal favourite, seeing as it was the least annoying one of the tracks, with an entertaining video and quite a nice song, which would count the last song that Eric Lundquist would direct the video for. Eric stepped down as the director, and during that time Crazy Frog went through some harsh things. He got a lot of backlash and had to cut off his private parts, but before this came around, we got a Christmas video. Last Christmas, 2006. I didn't really think it was horrible. Eric didn't have that much input, and he had to follow what Wolfgang had said, and it seems to be that they wanted to go for a more friendly approach for advertising and marketing. This was 2006. He was still at his prime. Well, he would be. It's Christmas, and well, people want to get the toys, so why not show the making of toys in a music video for Christmas time? Oh god, what do I have to say? This video is my least favourite out of every single one, bar one. It is my second least favourite. The history of this video, there isn't much. They just developed it to make a bit of money around the Christmas season. The animation isn't perfect this time. It seems that since they wanted to get this one out quick and they wanted to get the rest of them out quick, they kind of rushed the animation. And the music is half-assed, not amazing, could have been better. There's not much to be said on this one, other than it's better than Popcorn, but it's still my second least favourite track. And while the rating's a little bit higher, it doesn't mean to me that it's better.
Ninguna fiesta sin Crazy Frog.
2007's Crazy Frog in the House, one that many people will remember for being one of the main songs at clubs in that year. This song, I have to say, was quite entertaining, and the video was quite adventurous and quite explorative, something that they didn't do before. And it kind of reminds me of a live-action version of Axel F, where the Crazy Frog is being chased down. Many clips from this will be used in the later music video Cha Cha Slide, but we'll get to that. This is the only video to be released in 2007, and I'm glad of that because, well, it was very nicely done. But as the phenomenon was going to an end, not many people saw this, and if they did, they enjoyed it, but it was just it wasn't as a novelty anymore. There was many people who were going to be, you know, copying this later on, but it was a good video, I'll be honest. I'll give it a high score of, I don't know, a 7. Similar to Axel F.
We can dance, everybody look at your hands. We can dance, everybody's taking the chance.
To make up for 2007's lackluster year, and of course, no music video in 2008, 2009 came with 3 new music videos. The first of them being Safety Dance, released in early 2009, and it didn't do too great. While now it's got over 100 million views, I think, maybe it has 50 million, I can't remember. While now it has that, it never used to get as much recognition. It was one of the more ignored Crazy Frog videos. Even the Cactus Film website doesn't show it. This one, I have to be honest, I didn't enjoy at all. The video was a bit, like, because I watched the next video first, which used a lot of the same clips, and I found it more entertaining. The music wasn't that great, and it was really annoying at parts. And also, you know, the video just copied bits from the video that would come later that year. And you could tell it copied it from them, because it fits much better with the next video. Only a few clips were original. That clip for the keyboard, that was the only original clip. Poor show, Cactus Films. Poor show. Daddy DJ, releasing mid-2009, is the 6th single released by the Crazy Frog. Oh boy, where do I start? Well, I enjoyed the song. People give this song a lot of backlash. I enjoyed the song. Gonna be honest, it was one of my favorites. In the video for it, while using Safety Dance clips, it was obvious that this one was made before Safety Dance. That piano clip was obviously rushed out just to make it look like this one copied from that one. Daddy DJ just fits more with the entire thing. It doesn't take any clips that don't need to be there. It was a funny.
This is something new. The Crazy Slide for you. And this time, we're gonna get... Come on!
The last single by the Crazy Frog, Cha Cha Slide. Of course, well, it wasn't great. It was rushed out as it was dying, trying to make a bit more money out of what they could. By this time the Vivo was up, and this would be the second video released before it got taken down by WMG and re-uploaded when it turns out this was an official debug. My thoughts are that I didn't really think it was amazing. Just putting it out there. It wasn't amazing at all. It was very rushed. very poorly made. The animation was cheap. They reused clips from Crazy Frog in the House, and it's my personal least favourite single he released. Honestly, it is no holds bar, the worst thing he had released, ever.
Slide to the left, slide to the right, crisscross, crisscross. I'm out of here, y'all.
In 2012, a documentary was made and released onto the Vivo in 2017. It is actually very interesting. It tells the entire story of the phenomenon that was the Crazy Frog. It was very interesting. It tells everything you need to know, and it says it better than I ever could, telling you how many water you got, and all the struggles that people went through. This is just a shortened version of me reviewing each track and giving a quick history of all the series. Now, how's about we get on to the final thing that I didn't think any of you would expect. Now, what about today? In 2018, Crazy Frog passed 1 billion views on Axel F. Then, afterwards, the Crazy Frog Vivo's banner updated, and so did the links. It included a brand new Facebook and a brand new Instagram, and after myself going digging, I found these are actual legit pages that exist to give news and updates to the fans. The trademark was filed for Crazy Frog in music, video games, and other forms of media, and in there, Cactus Films is listed as the owner, or the applicant. And then I had a conversation confirming from one of the workers of Voodoo Music that Crazy Frog is back. Personally, I think it's fascinating that we can forget about a character for years, and then all of a sudden, 9 years later, he can appear out of the blue. It happened with Crash, it happened with Spyro, and now it's happening with him. So be ready for the end of this year, where you're going to get a brand new Crazy Frog music video. Of course, I do like his music videos. He has something about him that just makes it really interesting to me. I won't be able to live without him, figuratively at least. So that's the end of the video. Everything's fair use, but thanks to Voodoo for all the help, and yeah, that's it.
Feel that I'm paused by all the pills I seen her running. On a foggy windmill, windmill for the land that I'm forever hand in hand. Take it all out on your.
Hey everyone, it's TellTale here. Sorry for the poor quality, I just wanted to get this out quick. I was mentioned in a podcast called Feud Fight on Spotify, many other sites. I got the clip here, coming up for you next. Make sure that you absolutely just link in the description to these guys' podcasts. They're absolutely amazing. Thanks Sam for the shout out. Watch it here as well, because it's just the 5-minute clip that they produced on my channel and my news. So yeah, peace out.
Bum, bum, bum. We've got some breaking news right here into our Feud Fight studios. We're going to go live out now to Zach Barlow, where we've just got some developing news on a really big topic here.
Thank you, Peyton. So we actually have sent to us some confidential information regarding the Crazy Frog. You see, YouTuber TellTale YT, that's TellTale reviews,
Maker of such games as a Minecraft story mode.
that is sadly a different TellTale. This is just a guy. And TellTale Reviews is his channel on YouTube. And if you want to know like a lot about Crazy Frog, I'd suggest you go check it out. Because this guy, Resident, I'm going to go ahead and name him here. I'm going to go ahead and ordain him, if that's okay with you two. I've dropped the newscaster voice, but that's just because I'm getting really serious about this.
Okay.
I'm going to ordain
fine.
him Feud Fight Crazy Frog expert. He is the resident feud fight expert for Crazy Frog.
Yeah,
Oh,
of
stepping
course.
down.
And he tells us, he has sent us screenshots that he has with presumably the creator of Crazy Frog, who has renewed, I think he said the copyright on Crazy Frog, and plans to release new Crazy Frog content later this year.
I gotta ask Zach, as I am a little worried. I have been hurt before. Do they look doctored?
So here's the thing. The guy that sent these to us has exactly 0 credentials, and I didn't double check any of this information. So they could be, who fucking knows. But we do thank him for sending those, even if they are doctored, honestly. But I will tell you that he is a Crazy Frog expert, because I checked out his channel a little bit, and he has multiple videos about Crazy Frog, my personal favorite being his Season 2, Episode 2, 17-minute long video called The Rise and Fall of Crazy Frog. And let me tell you guys, I learned a couple of things, like, did you know they took the dingle away?
He cannot be censored.
They castrated him.
Yeah, they made him castrated, Frog.
Oh, man, he was too crazy. That was the only way to silence him.
So the thing is, when he comes back, do you guys think they're going to, like, rework his design?
Yeah, he's going to be sucking on a jawbreaker, if you know what I mean.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be like super edgy and like realistic. Like he's gonna look like a real frog. Like a real.
I think he's going to have ear gauges.
Oh, for sure. Because, you know, the original Crazy Frog is very 98, I think.
I do have one quick suggestion about his design. I would like to imagine, like, the creator of Crazy Frog just busting into his son's room and it's like, "What's hip? What's hip today? I need more Crazy Frog." And his son, you know, little Aiden is just like, fidget spinners. Dad, you know, I really don't like Crazy Frog that much. You got him all over my wall, and my alarm just goes ding, 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 ding. Every morning. I'm living in hell. You named my little sister Crazy Frog.
Well, we're gonna continue to.
No, I wasn't finished.
Okay,
Good old
well-
creator doesn't care. He's like, fidget spinners. I've got something. And I think he makes his nutsack a working fidget spinner.
Oh, I think that new Crazy Frog will have the dingle and his new nutsack, which he previously did not have a nutsack. But his nutsack
they're
will
fidget
be a
spinners.
functioning fidget spinner, yes.
Okay, well we are definitely done now. So we're
Hey,
gonna.
you didn't tell us any of your ideas about the Crazy Frog redesign. Why's that?
I told you that he was gonna look like a realistic frog. I just said that.
The regular Crazy
you're right.
Frog
You
didn't?
did say that.
No, like he's gonna look like a fucking like a ribbity dude.
Like how they did all the animals with CGI in Jungle Book. Like he's gonna be like that.
Yes.
No,
Is he
but
gonna be
here's the-
man-sized or frog-sized?
He's gonna
Crazy-
he's gonna just he's gonna be he's gonna be like a 6 foot tall like amphibian.
Oh, I fucking love it.
Crazy Frog is already like that.
I don't think you've had a chance to encounter the dingle in a while. Then if that's what you think.
I think that, like, I've just seen a few frogs in my days.
Yeah, but maybe not enough. So we're going to continue to follow this developing story, and we hope to bring you the latest breaking news in the Feud Fight universe.
Absolutely, and thanks again to resident Crazy Frog expert TellTale YT. We appreciate it.
Crazy Frog will remember that.
Oh, boy.
All right, so let's move on.
just want to sleep. Why do I have to make a review today? It's me, TellTale, and today I'm going to be celebrating the release and success of Sonic Mania Plus a little bit late. You see, while it did re-release in July, I haven't even been able to get my hands on it until now. I ain't going to be reviewing that though. I've still got a long way to go before reviewing that. I'm still in the middle of replaying the original mode. Yes, I'm still in the middle. So, how about we take a look at something I've had experience with since around 2015. A couple of years ago, I managed to get myself Sonic Adventure 2 on the Xbox. And now, I managed to score it on GameCube. So, I feel now is the best time to take a look at the game. Is it really as good as I thought it was a couple of years ago? Or is it dumpster fire? Well, let's find out. Sonic Adventure 2. Let's start off with how great this game would have been back in the day. Imagine waking up on Christmas to see this underneath a tree alongside a Dreamcast. You would have fell in love with Santa, or your parents if you didn't believe in him. Oh well, I don't even care anymore. I'm rambling at this point.
How's about we talk about the story?
We see Eggman infiltrate the gun headquarters where they find his grandfather's creation, Shadow, also known as the Ultimate Life Form, who manages to escape thanks to Eggman and is apparently caught. But then we later find out it's Sonic. He's witty as always, and while it can get annoying at times, the 90s edge that was coming from him, even in 2001, was still blatantly there, and it made me laugh at several times just for how awkward it made me feel. He uses the door from the plane that Gun is holding him in to jump off of it and manages to land in the city where we have a pointless boss battle and a very entertaining stage before Sonic finally meets with Shadow, where we learn Shadow can perform a thing called Chaos Control that allows you to warp from one area to another. Sonic is then caught by the police again. Then, some conflict happens with our good old friend Knuckles and new character Rouge the Bat, before, the Master Emerald eventually gets kidnapped again by Eggman. Tails goes out to the gun headquarters and actually tries to save Sonic, but it turns out he's a bit too late since Amy got there first, and threatens not to let him go if he doesn't let him marry her. Well, didn't work and she just lets him go free. This happens on loop until, the final story, where we find out Gerald created Shadow against his hate for the world for them destroying his daughter Maria. Then, after a fight against the Bio Lizard, the final form, or the final fight comes in, called the Final Hazard. Unfortunately, Shadow has to sacrifice himself using Chaos Control and eventually falling just to save the planet. And some people cried over this, I didn't. I just thought it was sad. And by the end, everyone remorses and misses Shadow and talks about teamwork, and that's the end of the game. To be honest, the game is quite fun to play. The story's alright, but how's about gameplay? Gameplay's absolutely fantastic. You control very tightly, and it has a very solid frame rate. Multiple times in the game I've died, and I never thought it was because of the controls. Also, the music is so great that even if the gameplay wasn't that good, it'd still be such a good game because of how much the atmosphere shines through. Also, alongside this, I have to say that even when you're playing on the Dreamcast or GameCube, consoles that are known for having sometimes poor frame rate, such as in GoldenEye Rogue Agent, which I have personally explained in my own video, which was later deleted due to copyright issues, that indeed the frame rate was quite lacking. But this game runs at a buttery 60 all the time, except from if your computer's rubbish, and it doesn't. The footage I got was from my PS3. The only reason I did that is because of my GameCube not having the right cables to record at this time, and my game capture card wouldn't accept it even if it did. but you know, even then you can still see it's high quality, and alongside that it is very well good frame rate. I do feel the gameplay is fairly tight for what it is, but what about the music? Let's just say I downloaded the entire track list onto my phone at one point. That's gotta say something, right? The soundtrack in itself, again, like I said, I had it on my phone for several months, and it's all because some of the best tracks in Sonic history came from this game. Live and Learn, you know, City Escape, Radical Highway. Some of these tracks actually made people go insane for Crush 40, and they won multiple awards and made multiple albums because of the success of the soundtracks they'd later go on to produce. They're still producing Sonic soundtracks to this day, and the lead singer has recently appeared in one of Caddy's latest videos on Sonic Heroes. And you know what? I'm glad that they're still going, because some of their tracks are actually pretty good for what they are. So, yeah. Bravo, Sonic. So, that's Sonic Adventure 2 for the GameCube and Dreamcast. It was an absolutely amazing game. Buttery smooth graphics, silky frame rates, an absolutely amazing soundtrack, and a story that, while gritty and dark at times, even morbid, is still very light-hearted and Sonic style. Well, there's nothing more that I could say that it does deserve a definite 9. It's a fantastic Sonic game, and it's the second best game, in my opinion, of all time. So how's about next time we take a look at my personal favourite? But you'll just have to wait and see what that is. For now, I'm TellTale, and I feel like I should give a proper exit to this game. But I'm going to do something more funny to this game. We live in an age where cartoon characters rule the music industry. From Crazy Frog to Gorillaz to Daft Punk, many animated characters have stormed onto the scene, created top-hitting chart songs, and have left. And back in 1991, Do the Bartman by Michael Jackson and Nancy Cartwright would be that song. Take a listen to the first line.
Hey, what's happening, dude? I'm a guy with a rep for being rude.
The video starts off with the classic before showing Marge, Homer, Lisa and Maggie making their way into the elementary school where Bart is. He has been pulled back because, well, they believe he shouldn't be on the stage performing in front of his parents. He decides to plug in his MP3 player and start singing a song about how cool he is. And to be honest, it's actually quite a catchy song. To be fair, the only lines of the song I can remember are at the beginning. Yo, hey, what's happening, dudes? I'm a guy with a rep for being rude, terrorizing people wherever I go. It's not intentional, just keeping the flow. But I also do remember the line that made me laugh. If you do the butt, you're bad like Michael Jackson. It then, after the entire incident of everyone joining in with the Bartman, shows him get sent to his room for putting mothballs in the meat beef stew, which, yeah, no, don't do that, kids. It's not okay. Anyway, this is followed by him dancing to the radio. A song has come on. Probably Little Pump, if you know what I mean. Anyway, he's dancing to a song and Lisa joins in. He ends up climbing out of his window, hopping onto a tree, and quoting the famous line, if you do the butt, you're bad like Michael Jackson. Then he falls onto the street, which he doesn't live near an urban city street, which that doesn't make sense anyway. Well, I wouldn't question it. And he starts dancing along to his cronies. Sings another line about releases saxophone about you can't touch this and lets the dogs out. Obvious references to music industries. And finally, he does the best thing. Raps about how his sisters annoy him. Everyone starts doing the Batman before, of course, he's pulled back behind the stage, revealing it was just a dream. We even see Sideshow Bob is still in prison. Surprising, isn't it? I know this video was quite short, but I just wanted to make it because I thought, might as well. It's going to be quite fun. Overall, I do give this video an 8 out of 10 because it was alright, to be honest. Not amazing, but not horrible. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope you do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye! So, why am I here? Sipping a can of Pepsi Max? I'll tell you one thing. The story of how I got here is better than what I'm looking at. Last Friday, I went over to my local game shop. Decided to go look for some games. What I discovered was a train wreck. An absolute garbage pile waiting to be discovered. Funnily enough, I was the one that discovered it. It feels like I've built an immunity to mediocre games. But when something is bad, you don't let it down. So, what am I going to be looking at that's so terrible? So folks, the game I was on about while I was shifting through those bins of garbage games was Putty Squad for the PS3. I picked the game up, played it, put it down, had to switch my mind off. I sunk to the lowest of lows and actually played this once more. But after coming back to it to review the game, was it really that bad? Well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? Gotta take the disc. We gotta open there, don't we? And then do that, and then... Okay. While not being too amusing by itself, I don't feel Putty Squad can redeem itself in any way. While the game isn't as horrible as many people may say, it is a horrible, disgusting piece of mess, originally developed for the Amiga systems back in the 1990s. This was never meant to be on modern day consoles like the Switch and the version I'm playing, the PS3. There is really virtually no plot. You're running around as these blobs killing things. The controls, they're not amazing, stiff at times, and if they're not stiff, you're slippy-sidey all around like Jack's freaking Frost on a Saturday night after he's drunk too much rum. He's not easy to control. Then again, the PS3 version has a bit of delays and lags due to the fact that nowadays it's built on a PS4 firmware. And you know, PS3 can't emulate that. Graphics-wise, it seems quite solid and quite unlively. The game feels really dingy and dirty, like it was made again for the Amiga with limited colour palette. You see where I'm going with this? It feels like it was made for the Amiga, because it was made for the Amiga. This is a remastered port of a short-lived Europe Amiga game that got no port anywhere else. Barely released in a demo in the US. You know what? There's one more thing I want to talk about this game, which I'm going to be talking about a lot. And that's the music. You want to know why I'm not using any of the music? Because the soundtrack is so repetitive and annoying. I've never had to complain about a soundtrack on this channel. I've never had to say that a bad game has a bad soundtrack. But when you know that I have to complain about your goddamn soundtrack, you've got a problem. This game feels so 90s, but it was released in 2013 on modern day consoles and previous generation consoles. I bought this copy. I spent money on this. If this was a free game with only 5 levels, I might complain about it, but I won't go as deep as I'm about to go. This game is one of, if not the worst games I own on my PS3, and I own Farming Simulator and London 2012, games I consider to be absolutely horrendous. When you compare this game to some of the best games of all time like LA Noire, Sonic Adventure 2, GTA 5, you do not put this in a Hall of Fame. You don't put this on the PS4 for people to buy. Nintendo doesn't license it, even though they did it twice. On the 3DS and the Switch, their two biggest consoles right now. This game has made itself stick into the brains of so many people that I'm actually feeling sick. The game is not pretty, even though the backgrounds do look nice. You barely see them because the entire place is filled with bricks that you have to do stuff with, and it's so annoying. The controls are horrendous, and for a game released in 2013 on modern day consoles, none of this is excusable. The music is bland and annoying. And I've covered Crazy Frog on this channel. Why did I not keep this for Halloween? Because I found something much better to do on Halloween. It's not as bad, but it's much scarier to look at, and it's much scarier to think about. I'm still having a hard time trying to figure out why this game exists, why I actually spent money on it. You know what I got the same day as this? Crash Team Racing on my Vita. I've had more fun with a game from 1999 than a game was released in 2013 retail. The company, System 13, I think it was, I don't even care to look. I've not seen a single game with their name on it since Putty Squad. And you know what? I'm glad. I could say a lot more things about this game. My vocal cords are being strained at this point. So let me round this out quick with graphics that are really poor, gameplay that is really slippy and sometimes too tight for itself, barely any memorable story, heck, no memorable story, and an absolute lack of remorse to its players for the atrocious music that has to be played during these levels. I feel that we need to forget about it as a human race, but too many people have talked about it at this point. Putty Squad. Horrible game. Lacking story. It has no good gameplay. The music is abysmal, and the graphics look like an Amiga game that doesn't look good. It's an Amiga game with a style that is so cliched that it's been copied by multiple other people that have made a success out of the style. This one game could have been good. It could have been one of the best games I've ever played. The idea of inflaming yourself and doing all this and that you saw in the gameplay, all of that would have made this game a good buy. But no. See, why don't people talk about it? It's easier to bash a game like Crazy Frog Racer for being bad or mediocre than it is to say that Truth or Square, a game that I'd actually give attention to someday, is actually a decent game. It's easier to do that. Because you have, with these games, like Putty Squad, Crazy Frog Racer, Sonic 06, it's all there in front of you. You don't have to go digging for mistakes. But with games like Sonic Generations, SpongeBob Truth or Square, heck, I'd even say Simpsons Hit and Run, other games like that, you have to go digging to find mistakes. Some of them, yes, you can just accidentally find, like in SpongeBob Truth or Square, where it doesn't match the same continuity. But it's still a good game. Good graphics, good gameplay, a good soundtrack, a good story, and good references to the past, while Putty Squad does none of that. What do you think I'd give it?
I give the same sort of Sonic 06 a 2 out of 10. I feel like humanity, if this game gets any rewards for what it's done of the future of video games, should die if it gets any rewards. Okay, I may have stretched a bit, but the developers do not understand how much pressure they went through, torture they put us through. Halloween's around the corner. You will most likely see me before then. But I'm going to be focusing a lot on the Halloween video. I've got a very special game to talk about on Halloween that I want to put a lot more effort into than this. I want to thank everyone. We've made nearly 100 videos. We've nearly got 50 subscribers. Better than I ever expected to do on this channel. It overwhelms me. And it makes me feel special to an extent. I'm not special. I feel like it. Out of all the reviewers you could have chose, you chose me. And I'm so grateful. Thank you, everybody. Let's hope we can hit 50 by Halloween. Here's a sneak peek to what I'll be looking at Halloween. Did you catch that? That's all the time I've got for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time. I'm gonna go to bed now because I feel too tired to deal with any more Potty Squad. So I'm just gonna flick these on, put them right there, and I'll go to sleep. Good night, everybody.
Trick or treat!
Sorry, kids, I've got no candy this year.
What's that then?
Right, kids, that's for me. But I have another thing for you. You take this hunk of garbage. And you take this hunk.
Without them, what are you going to do a Halloween video on?
Simple. I always have a backup plan at this time of year. I'll be taking a look at this European trash.
Oh, okay, Mr. TellTale.
Well, let's get this over with. This is Crazy Frog Racer, a 2005 racing game starring the annoying thing which was released exclusively in Europe on the PS2, PC, GBA, and DS. How does it fare? Is it really good, or is it, how everyone says, a pile of absolute garbage? Today I'll be looking mainly at the PC version, just, well, for convenience sake, since seeing as I got it for 10p, it's most likely the best game I could get footage for out of it in the highest definition possible. So, with my keyboard and my mouse, let's start this game. Let's start simple. What is this menu screen? Looks like my dog took a decent picture for a menu screen and peed all over it and slapped it right onto my screen. The next screen, which will be your selection for a mode, doesn't fare too well to the eyes. It goes for an X-ray ordeal. Very unpleasing. Speaking of eyes, I'm doing good with these cutaways, man. Seriously. Let's talk models. Crazy Frog, or as he's called by his original name, the annoying thing, is not that bad, to be honest. In 1080p, the model looks good. Same goes for the drone to an extent. The original characters, though, are a mixed bag. For example, while Grim looks very well done, Ellie looks... Ellie looks, yeah, lazy. Music-wise, one or two tracks were decent in my opinion. The best tracks would be Getting Things Started. The other tracks are bland and fairly annoying.
As for the race tracks you drive on, well, they're okay. Out of the 12 total tracks, yes, 12, they couldn't even muster up the amount of around 20 tracks, which is the average for most racing games. Out of the 12 tracks, there are only really 6, with 2 varying routes. And the final cup is just the same. Bland, repetitive and boring tracks you've done over and over again. It's not really that fun. Now Crazy Frog Racer does have a lot of good items. Well, I say good, only one of them's really good, the rest of them are worthless, and the one that's good is the boosters. If you save it till the end and you're in last place, hope that everyone's bunched together and you boost across and you'll be in front of everyone. It's great in the middle of a speedrun, and it's amazing when you have enough points to just continuously use them over and over again. Feels so nice to do that. Controls, I saved this bit for last, seeing as it's a big issue many people won't talk about and skip over in their reviews. In Crazy Frog Racer, you're fast. Good. But turning does not compensate for this. Hence, you'll most likely slippy slide around the track like Sonic the Hedgehog in winter, and the track layouts won't help you. Meaning once you flew off a track, you have no chance. You'll be dead, so you'll be visiting Jesus before you drop back down onto the track to keep on going, and it'll happen again and again and again, seeing as the checkpoints are put in so odd places that it makes no sense that once you've landed, you're further away than you used to be on the track. And that was Crazy Frog Racer. It's not a good game. It's not a great game. But it's not a horrible game. To be honest, I had a fun time playing the game, and that's why I give it a 6.5. Because even though I was getting stressed, I knew that I enjoyed the game personally. While a lot of people didn't enjoy listening to the frog rig-a-ding-ding-on, they bought this game, eventually leading to a sequel. And that sold loads. And with the revival in 2019, maybe we could take a look at Crazy Frog Racer 2. And the inevitable Crazy Frog Racer 3. I know this is a different angle, I'm filming this afterwards on my computer so it looks a bit worse. But thank you all for watching. I forgot to put an outro in, so I'm doing this now before the thank you comes in for something really special. But thanks for watching everybody. Happy Halloween. This game does deserve the score I give it, obviously. And, you know, I'll see you next time. Happy Halloween. The candles have been lit and the pumpkins are getting carved. And my friend Bill hung himself about a year ago. Here's his corpse. Happy Halloween, everybody. I know 2018 so far has been the best year for this channel. This year we've got over 50 subs. We got, I think it was 7.5 thousand total views on every video combined. And that means a lot to me, because personally I've been doing YouTube now for, well, if you contain all my old channels, 4 years. I never saw this amount of success. Possibly 1,000 total views, 44 subscribers. 50 subscribers, 51 subscribers, and 7.5 thousand. That's a big leap for me. That channel's obviously been deleted. It had some cringy content from when I was really young. But now, I've come here. I've got so many fabulous people watching. And I've had some help from amazing people. I want to shout out a couple. I want to shout out my family who watches my content. I want to shout out Zizzo, Mystic, I think it's either Mystic or Mythics, Jump Knight, I think his name used to be, the only one I can remember was 999,999 views, and I want to thank pretty much anyone who's collaborated with me. I want to thank anyone who's been related to the Food Fight team. I want to thank everyone who's here right now, all 51 of you who have got me to where I am now. Season 3 is going to be much different. We're going to have a new intro and a couple new things added in, give it a bit of spice. I'm also going to be staying away from just the name, and I'm going to be revamping my logo, I'm going to be revamping my banner, and I want to thank Zizzo for all of that, and that will be kept in a memory bank. I might even use them again for a backup channel, TellTale 2, which I'm setting up. And I want to go for a more cartoony edge. I want to have a fully animated intro, which I hope to get finished by May of next year, which gives me around 7 months, over half a year to get the animation done. It's going to be 30 seconds. It's going to be fun to make, hopefully, but it's going to be a lot of work. This is a toast to everyone here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. I am Japanese. I don't know what else to say. I'm done. I'm going to bed. In a bed. Thank you. Like seriously, now you can get out my room now, please. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm your host TellTale. Today, it's a bit rushed. I want to explain. Christmas is around the corner. I'm spending the next couple days leading up to Christmas Day working on a bigger video of a video game. So I decided, why not just go back and do something very simple. I'm taking a look at an album that is near and dear to my heart. It's my favourite album of all time, Demon Days by Gorillaz. Is it really amazing? Yes. Don't have to say the other option. Roll the intro. The chart-smashing top album of 2005, Demon Days, is probably renowned as the best album by Gorillaz. Why, you may ask? Well, it's because of its sharp blend of good music and a political message that has stuck throughout the decades. Every track you listen to on this album has a political message hidden in it, and it makes for something that is held up today. It seems that Damien and Jamie both realise that America is probably not going to be the same as before, leaving many allusions to the president at the time, George Bush, and all the bad mistakes that he had made, quote-unquote, in their opinions. The art direction for every music video has also got a bit of a tweak, going for a more Japanese-based design, especially with tracks like Dirty Harry and the world-renowned Feel Good Inc., which the windmill in El Manana and Feel Good Inc. is based off of Japanese culture and the colours that they provide throughout. The track in specifically the track El Manana, it kind of started off a whole story that would continue on for, I don't know, at this point, 13 years, over a decade, and they're still adding on to it. The lore is developed and these characters are also developed through interviews, but this year they didn't get a lot. They focused more on the music videos and entertaining the fans they already had instead of trying to convince people that they were good. This album is considered to be great, and I see why. Some of the tracks, like, I don't know, Every Planet We Reach is Dead, November is Coming, and of course Feel Good Inc., are smash hits that keep people coming back to Gorillaz, and it's just a ear-pleasing album that deserved what it got, really. 8 out of 10. And so, that is why Demon Days works. It's got political messages that bring down the hopes that America and the UK would ever be as great as it used to be. Now, this album works well, but during the Plastic Beach tour of 2010, Damon released an album through his iPad. This would become Gorillaz The Fall, my personal least favourite Gorillaz album. I want to now spend the time quickly comparing the two albums and making a review. This album is still good, but it's not as good as Demon Days. Let's find out why. The Fall, released in 2010 and 2011 worldwide, is probably considered to be the worst Gorillaz album ever made. 2010 was very bland music-wise, so this piled on even more. I found the album pretty good with tracks like Little Pink Plastic Bags, Revolving Doors and Amarillo, all in this album pretty well, making it feel pleasant, even though it kinda wasn't. It was a really weird experience, and by the time we got to the last track, it just got bad. But I will cut this album some slack. He made it on an iPad, of course it's not going to be big produced. It deserves a 6.5, I'll give it that. Now, my favourite tracks out of the album, well, Demon Days had my favourite track for a long time, from May all the way to December, where I found interest in trance from the Now Now. And The Fall has one of my favourite tracks of all time as well, Revolving Doors. So comparing Feel Good Inc. and Revolving Doors, which one's better? Well, while Feel Good Inc. was my favourite track of all time, I sat down and compared them both recently, about 2 days ago, and came to the conclusion: Demon Days, Feel Good Inc. is not very well executed when it comes to physical media. No, I mean like lyric-wise. They tried to bring on a political message which fails kind of badly. The Fall didn't want to do anything political. It seemed Damon learned that Obama was doing a good job at the time. But with the Revolving Doors, after analysing the lyrics, he goes for a more relatable approach. The repetitive and looping cycle of everyday life for a middle-class person, a working-class person. Someone who has to go to work to get a little bit of money so they can put food on the table. But he hides it so well with interesting track. And by far it's the best track on this album. Meaning that it's carrying all the other tracks, like Detroit, it's carrying Phono from Arizona, Little Pink Plastic Bag, and at the top, at the crap pile, is Seattle Yodel. So, which is better, Demon Days or The Fall? Demon Days is better, and yes, it's my favourite album of all time. I'm gonna say that when I indeed went out the way to get it on record. So, of course it's my favourite album. It's better than The Fall. But out of Gorillaz, The Fall, and Feel Good Inc., I think The Fall has got Feel Good Inc. beat. Revolving Doors, at least. Thanks for watching. I'm your host, TellTale. I'll see you at Christmas. Hello everyone and welcome to Characters Overanalyzed. I'm your host TellTale, and today we're going to be taking a look at the two sisters who are saving Darton City single-handedly, apparently stalking Ganarchy alongside Garterbelt, but we're not going to be looking at Garterbelt because it's not a main character, and we're looking at the two main characters of the show. Let's start off with the likability. Humor-wise, these characters are very raunchy, yet not all the time. It's only when needed, and it works. This is the only show I'd say watch dubbed if you get the chance, because it works better. They put more effort and care into making it appeal to our audience, that it works very well. Now, what about the whole appeal for another audience other than Japan? It's based off of Western culture and Western animation and how the jokes in there are sexual, but not all the time, or at least they used to be. Shows like South Park and Family Guy have gone for a more risque humor approach, but this show worked both at the same time. It was a miracle worker. You could do both at once, and that's why I like it. Character designs are very smooth and fluent, while also being very anime-esque. It's easy to see that this is an anime and not a Western show, unlike some others, like Squid Girl, where it's hard to tell if it's trying to be Japanese or Canadian because of how rushed it seems. The characters themselves, however, are quite mixed. They're not the same, and I could say that's a good thing, but I don't know if it is. One of them's a sweet tooth, that would be Stalking the Goth, and one of them's a slut, that would be Panty the Anarchy. I can't give her anything else but a whore. She is a bit of one, and it seems to be that was the whole point of her. She hasn't got much else as a premise. That's her characteristics. What do? They say Darton City from Ghosts. How they do that? Well, Patty uses her underwear as a gun called Backlace. Stalking uses her stockings as katanas, and they drive in a car called C3. The characters are quite dynamic. You can easily put them in a new situation, and it won't seem out of place. They're very easily accessible. Change the location, and you've got a new story to work with. Easy as. Also, I have to say that the humor that they go for, their designs, and their personalities fit well with the actual overall theme of the show, making it quite easy to adapt new stories that relate to the plot, like them going to the beach, and then having the next one be about music, and then have the next one be about them being robots. You know, it works. It's all fluent because the characters are easily adaptable, and it really feels great. Going back to the point about them being raunchy, in many episodes they'll have at least 3 sex jokes and 3 sugar jokes. Each one works because that's what the show is built around, mainly. Those are the main bits of the show that people will remember, and I guess that's what they wanted. With good dynamic characters, good designs, and good writing as jokes, with only one flaw being that I can't give anything to one of the characters, they definitely deserves a 9. Good job, Gynax, you've done well. Hello everyone, TellTale here. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex, made for the Xbox original, the PS2 and the GameCube in 2001 and 2002. I'm going to be specifically looking at the Xbox version, seeming as that's the simplest version that I could look at. This video was extremely rushed as I just wanted to get a last video out for the year, and I felt that Wrath of Cortex is a great way to end it off, as not only is it used to be my favourite game of all time, it's still in the top 10 and I have a lot to say about it. How's about we just get right in? Story-wise, it's quite bland, however. This is probably the weakest part of the game. Crash is enjoying a little holiday after Crash Bandicoot Team Racing, I guess, but you could say that this takes place after Warped. I don't know if Team Racing is canon, personally. I do believe that it is, but there's a lot of mixed signals going through the community with that one. But taking a little break when all of a sudden Uka Uka releases the 4 elementals with Cortex and uses it to power another Bandicoot called Crunch. Now Crash and Coco, yes, I'll get onto that. Have to go and stop Crunch and Cortex. It's very, very poor, but it's an average Crash story, so you can't say much, can ya? Graphical wise, for the Xbox original in 2002, it's not bad. The fur textures actually look alright, and they work fairly well for the style of the game. It's the assets on the backgrounds and the levels in itself that don't do it for me. They're quite gritty and quite very poor, and Cortex's face, ugh. Heck, most of the enemies' faces. If it ain't Crash, Cortex, Uka Uka, or Aku Aku, they didn't put much effort into it. Even Crunch looks a bit half-assed at this point. Also, they used a lot of 2D textures in areas, which I don't agree with. You see, Mario 64 did it, right? But Mario 64 did it because it was a game from 1996. This was 5 years later, and they used it again on high-quality consoles that could actually support 3D models of trees. Yet you still decided to go for that. Worst looking model has to be Entropy, which you can see right now is quite ugly. Don't speak again. Overall, graphics are 50-50 split. I'd say meh. Soundtrack wise, it's actually pretty well made. It's very misplaced, however. I don't think that this is the Crash soundtrack. This is more of a mix of several different games. You'd find this is all like Smash Bros. Or a gaming compilation album. It's not Crash specific, and it feels very odd to listen to in a Crash game. And the another thing to talk about is the levels. They are all well designed, and they all, while they look gritty, have a specific tone to each one. Whether it be going through the tundras, or being in icy worlds, or going through deserts, going through castles, going through caves to end up on secret machinery labs. They're all interesting and very unique environments, you could say. One of my pet peeves, and one of many pet peeves, is the amount of vehicles. This brings down the game tremendously. It isn't great, the amount of levels. Out of the entire level of 25 levels, yes, 25, around 19 levels are actually vehicle based, or have a vehicle in them. They may not surround about vehicles, but there's vehicles in them that take up at least half of the stage. Water levels are bad for them. If you aren't swimming in the water levels, you're using mechs in water levels. The mechs do not control well in the environments they are in, and it doesn't work. But they put it in anyway, just because it was a quick way and an easy way to get all the power they could and all the space filled on that disc. It's not good. It doesn't work. Stop it with the vehicles. It has more than Crash 3, and Crash 3 was already complained about for how many, they had all bikes and they had cars. This game lets you control Coco as well. And that's one thing I'm going to get on into a minute, controls, but they let you control Coco. There's 2 or 3 platforming levels compared to loads of different vehicle levels with her. You're going past tsunamis, earthquakes, all this, that, and you have to ride your scooter. Oh yeah, and there's also minecart levels. The minecart levels literally make you sit there and watch the Bandicoot drive by. You don't do anything but lean to the sides, and you don't even need to do that in one of the levels, and you still win. You don't have to press a button on many of them. Oh boy, it's not fun. The amount of vehicles actually drowns out the actual main point of the game, being a platformer frontmost. Controls? Normal game-wise, platforming, it actually works alright. There are actually decent controls and nice feeling, especially when you play on the 360, which I used for this game, because it was the easiest way to get footage, and it feels quite well. Even on the GameCube as well, it feels okay. But on the PS2, because of how much of a struggle it was to get it to run, apparently, it didn't work too well. I should know, I have played that version with my family, and we found it a bit miffed on the controls. But that doesn't stack up to the controls for the actual mechs and all of the vehicles you ride, which control poorly. They don't control well, and there's so many different ones that all the controls can clash, and you don't feel a simple way of playing it. You'll go from riding in a buggy to going into a minecart where there's 2 different control styles for one same type of vehicle. And there's a mine in the mine levels as well. Occasionally, you'll have the pushy carts, which control different to anything else. You don't turn, you're in a 2D path. Climbing on monkey bars as well, they don't control too well, and it doesn't work. The controls are poor, the graphics are good, and the music are good, but the controls are poor, and the amount of vehicles are shocking. This used to be my favorite game for a long time, but I've seen a new view of it, and I have to lower the score that I wanted to give it. I wanted to give it an 8, but 6.5 is the best I can give it. I don't really think that there's much else I can say about the game. Thanks for watching Season 2.